I think there are some things that we do know at this point. The first thing is that we will lose the binding nature of European Court of Justice decisions in competition cases, and that going forward we will lose that jurisprudence. And the question is, what status will it have? Will UK courts have to have regard to those decisions? How will that work? I think the other thing that we know is that in substance, UK competition law, which is on all fours now with EU competition law, will remain largely the same. The question that we have is whether the emphasis on maintaining the single market will remain, and that very much depends on the nature of the trade agreement that's struck between the UK and the EU. If that is as deep and special a trade agreement as the UK wants, then it may well be that actually there's no divergence in the future and the single market remains a key element in the UK in relation to competition law enforcement. So those would be the key comments I'd make. Well, I think that insurers may be put off by the loss of legal certainty when Commission decisions cease to be binding on UK courts. And I think if I were an insurer, I would be worried about what that might mean, whether there could be some divergence between the UK court's view of the conduct and the Commission's decision about it. And so, although I would expect that private enforcement would continue in the UK, I think that other jurisdictions in the EU may be preferred. Well, there could be some issues around privilege, where you have UK competition lawyers who are not admitted to what will be one of the bars of the 27 member states. And also, I mean, if the trade talks don't go very well, there could even be some issues around nationality in relation to the provision of privileged advice. There's going to be a lot of work for UK competition lawyers because the merger caseload is going to increase quite substantially. They're expecting an extra 35 cases a year in front of the Competition and Markets Authority and an extra 6 cartel cases. So I think we are going to be very busy. The Brexit decision, which should be taken by October 2018, because the EU has said everything's got to be sorted out by then, will be very important for competition lawyers to understand what that's going to bring. I think the other things that we should look forward to are probably more cases about online distribution, more cases about resale price maintenance, and potentially some quite big abuse of dominance cases in relation to things like price gouging. So there's a lot to look forward to. Well, I would recommend it because of the very wide range of very high quality speakers that come from right across the European Union, and indeed for the delegates who come from all kinds of sectors and businesses. And it is, as much as anything, not just to hear from these people, but also to get the chance to meet them and talk to them.